I can't emphasize enough, moving your body, especially if you're practicing for a couple hours a day, moving your body like before and after and sometime throughout the day is really important. So some of my favorite stretches for guitar, these were actually shown to me by a student of Bob Hansman, who gave a lot of this information to me. Another student that was working with him is a hand specialist, and he showed us that this would be a great way to warm up for guitar. So you put your hands out in front of you. You can start with your fingers spread, and you stretch all the way up to the outside, all the way to the inside. So there's like wrist straight, and then all the way up, all the way down. And you do that like a couple of times, outside, inside, up, down. And you can really feel the stretching in the forearms and wrists and hands when you do this. This is so great to do before you practice and after, or even like if you're practicing for a while and you're starting to get a little achy or something, this is a great little release. And then you do the same thing with fists. Up, down, outside, inside. And then making sure that your shoulders and elbows are nice and straight, that you have like nice integrity in your arms. You don't want to keep your arms loose, but really having that integrity in your shoulder blades. Yep, shoulder blades and elbows. And then fingers outstretched in front of you, but then close together. So rather than spread, we're holding them in tight, and then same motions. Really feeling that stretch as far as you can up the forearms. And this is so good. You might even feel some little crackles in your wrists as you do this. The other thing I like to do is circles. So just moving your wrists around in circles. And again, paying attention to your arms. So you're not, just waving your hands around, but you're really keeping your arms still and focusing on the wrist movement. And then you can do both directions. And as you notice, I'm also kind of spreading my fingers, and I'm feeling the stretch in my fingers as well. And you can sort of alternate. You can do all kinds of different directions and rhythms with this. And then another one I love is clasping the hands together and then doing figure eights. And so what you're doing here is you're trying to keep your palms touching the whole time. And you really can get into those little hand and wrist bones when you do this, especially when you really like squeeze the hands together as you do it. And then the other direction. Then you can also try keeping the forearms squeezed together too. So that creates a little bit of a different strengthening emphasis on this one. And then you can try this one. Another variation is fingers out front, like you're swimming, or we don't actually swim like that, but it's kind of like a swimmy motion. So those are some of my favorite wrist and hand stretches. And then also, if you're doing a lot of like dexterity exercises, which we are, it's really nice to just stretch the left hand fingers. So I'll like take my fist, basically like try to shove my fist in between each of my two finger spaces. This really helps like stretch the tendons on the hand in each finger. And a lot of times you might notice that there's like a certain finger that's usually it's the pinky, which is why I went to it first. But there's a certain finger that is usually kind of working a little harder than the rest. For a lot of us, it's the pinky because we don't really learn to use our pinky in many other activities. So, really getting into those stretches can help.